Okay, welcome to another Pike and Shot battle. This is part of a Pike and Shot tournament. Nothing so formal and competitive as a digital league. It's just a team-based format, 30 years war event, Catholic versus Protestant. Looks like I am fielding the Catholic League army versus the German Protestants. I don't really remember what the German Protestants field. I think it's fairly similar, although maybe without the same required veteran tercio unit, which is good, but also absurdly expensive. So, I believe I will be deploying here. We'll take detached musketeers for the forests. For the cavalry action, we have a large unit of cuirassier times 5 and 2 units of arquebusiers already. Probably want some light horse. It's kind of a lot, it's 200 points. I might reconsider that, but we'll see. The later tercio is immune to flank attacks, but can get hit by rear attacks, and does not have the 50 POAs for fielding a large block of pikemen the way these 2,000 man units do. So I need to consider whether I want more of these heavy hitters or more firepower. I think I do want these two, maybe not maxing on them. And then the raw sword for numbers, 48. I wonder what kind of hideous mistakes I'm making right now. What can I get for 98? Pretty much nothing. It's always hard to decide if I'm getting too many or too few these hard-hitting melee units. For example, an alternative give me a lot of firepower, but only 3 of these hard-hitting melee units. Oh well. There. So we'll have a total of 6 units of tercios and 4 units of raw later tercios to support. Could be a bit too dense of a formation. I just don't remember what the Protestant army gets, but we'll find out. All right, let's see what a Huiting can bring. Or not. Deployment, right. I get confused between this and Field of Glory. I'd like to have my guns up here, but I don't want to waste the time, to be honest. So we'll just put them down here. Right, light cavalry on each wing. Then we'll need to get a decent balance between our hard-hitting tercios and our not so hard-hitting later tercios. I think we can dump these raw later swords into the rough for their protection. This one's not very good protection. Some veterans as well. placed most of our heavy horse on this wing. Looks like much better cavalry country. Something like that, perhaps? Yeah, let's go with it. Okay, so as expected, he has a lot more units than me. All his light horse are here, which is somewhat irritating. If we could engage this cavalry with our own horsemen, we could defeat them quite handily. If. And he has no cavalry here, although he does have cavalry reserves. Your artillery, 2 to my 1. So that's the maximum range of the further back units. Unfortunately, our army is in range. Well, so it goes. Let's push our cuirassiers out a little bit. And what's the overall plan? Do I have an overall plan? I think we'll just attack. He has more artillery, and since we have better cavalry, we might as well try to force some kind of action in the open. The danger is that his larger number of infantry with his better artillery support will disrupt my large units of tercios before contact, in which case if they do break, they're a pretty large percent of my army in terms of rout percent. Generally, with this kind of matchup, I very much prefer to be using the Protestant type army with the later tercios, but this is a hand we've been dealt. Next turn. Yeah, I generally do defeat a Huitin, but I think with his larger number of units that the Protestant armies offer in this era, I think he has a solid chance. This is annoying. It's going to slow us down a bit. Okay. Seize that village. Maybe push for that rough ground. Not that we'll make it there, but it's that general direction. We've got cavalry. We're not too likely to disrupt infantry. I have to hold on for a couple of turns until the cuirassiers arrive. It's kind of a waste of heavy cavalry to do this, but I don't really want to lose all my lights and then get picked to death, so... Yeah, we're keeping it subtle. I'm kind of regretting spending points on these tercios. I just couldn't remember what he got, and now that I'm looking at the situation, I wish I got in as many later tercios as I could. Way too late for that now, though. Next turn. keeping these fields of fire open for his guns to shoot between. That's actually good for me. It'll allow my heavies to catch up to my lights, and then, you know, he has more cavalry than me headed toward this wing, but I don't really care if I lose a cavalry battle, so long as I don't lose it too quickly. But let's keep the pressure on. Good. Do I want to charge right away? I think I'm going to hold back my right. Something like that. Push my left forward. Need to avoid this rough ground if possible. All right. Next turn. Okay, no surprises. Have our hussars absorb some fire for us. It's at half arc, but I was just going for the cohesion check. No luck, unfortunately. Alright, that's about all we can do. Next turn. Huitin is pessimistic, but I'm optimistic for him. Generally, I just think more men is better than a smaller number of better units. He can afford to lose units and still win. Okay, now we can begin to close into contact. Right, so this is not the priority charge target, because if we move here to charge, we'll be directly facing one tile in front, the spike and shot unit. We can solve that problem by taking a volley. Sorry, boys. Hopefully that leads us right into, yes, good. So now we should have a 3-on-3 confrontation here, which is in our favor. This situation is awkward. Yeah, he has more non-light units here than I do. I've got 3 facing off against 6, and then 4 lights against an even number of lights. So I probably shouldn't do too much with that yet. Probably lose this action in the long run. Probably lose this action in the long run as well. Use the lights to absorb as much fire as I can. Good. Can shoot. Ah, yes. Okay. We'll probably gain an early lead. The question with these Tercio type armies is whether you can maintain the lead after initially breaking a few units or whether you get shot up and disrupted. Next turn. Ouch. Oof. Another downside of these giant clunky units. Oh, damn. That's bad. Our right wing is not going to last long. Numbers like that. In fact, our left isn't looking too great either. We need to just break through in the center. Well, with that in mind, They held. Come on. Oh, really? Oh, we can't do it. Fine. Fine. Just for fun. Take a bit of fire, but that's okay. Right. Wonder where this would take us. Could be useful. Not looking too good, honestly. Just not enough units, and the failure of this unit to break really might have screwed us over. Next turn. Gonna have to break units faster than that if we want to survive this thing. Too bad. It was a risk. He's doing everything he can to avoid fighting downslope. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't have the numbers. Ah, very nice. Oh, interesting. They charge in because my tercio is disrupted. Okay, in we go. Right. Charge. And charge downhill. I want to turn this way so that if he moves here to threaten the flank of this unit, we can try to charge in to intervene. Bit of a stretch, but every little bit helps. I'm trying to decide if I should turn to try to help out here or just go for his guns right away. I think turn here. Let's limit his movement. And the hussars can just go for the guns. All right. Next turn. Okay, nothing disastrous, but we lose this unit. Does it? No. At least we don't get our other units disrupted, but you can see that a single tercio is worth 10%. Well, no, maybe it's more like 7, but it's still pretty substantial. And we're going to lose both cavalry wings because we're just so badly outnumbered. So all our hope lies in the center. Right. Good. Charge while we can. No, that did not do us any good. Okay, and that's all that's in reach, so we're going to do it. Leave these facing this way to cut them off so that we can rush these hussars and break this fragged unit. And this unit is only slightly disordered because only 40% of its men are heavy foot, the rest are medium foot. Alright, that's the situation. Next turn. Of course. Yeah, and this is a problem with these tercio units. I mean, sure, you can break through, but there's just so many, and then you have to, after initial breakthrough, maneuver again to get shot at. And yes, you know, the early tercio is immune to flank and rear attacks, and that's nice, but the later tercio is still immune to flank attacks, and that's generally good enough. Yeah, in this situation, given the numbers, was inevitable, and I don't think I've broken through in the center enough to justify the loss of my flanks. Okay. You're screwed. Well, since this unit is going to get overrun, let's at least make sure it gets routed off the board by a rear charge, and that way we can waste his unit's time, if nothing else. Disrupt them again. Great. Charge. Okay. Yeah, this is terrible. In the direct firing arc here, if we just turn around to fight, we're going to have to tank 4 volleys of fire, I think. On the other hand, flight isn't that useful an option either. We're going to flee for just a little so that these units can start getting involved a bit. So we can turn around here. So if they follow, we can follow that way. Veterans, they'll probably hold despite the casualties. Alright, onward. Next turn. That's unfortunate. Although they're veterans, so even disrupted, they might do okay in melee. So hopefully they pursue off the board at least. Yeah. Still bad, but buys us a little bit more time. Right, what can we do to recover this situation? Well, you have to charge. Because you can't get shot at in the melee. Really did not want to waste a charge on this unit. I guess I'm going to. You never know. Alright, lock them in, tank some fire. Ouch. Well, lose another 70 or 80 men and then we can charge. That's it. That's all we can do. Next turn. Oh. That's a problem. Alright, goodbye the rest of my cavalry. Oh no. Yeah, see, this is what happens with these Tercio units. You can break a few units, but then you just get shot to pieces. Okay. Shove them off. And then? No, so we'll probably still frag when we do this. Yep. Damn. And if they break, they could break too. Right. No dice. Getting kind of scary now. This seems like a lost cause to me. Next turn. There we go, we're going to lose both units and that'll, I think, seal the deal. Nice. Double disruption. And these large units, they're just not flexible enough. Well, catch them out then. Not quite. That's a rear attack. To be here or like angled that way, basically. Alright, we'll charge so we don't get shot at any longer. How many more units do we need to deal with this? I think not many. You. I do just fine. Just looking for something squishable. Not really seeing it. That's all we can do. How sad, how sad. Next turn. I was hoping they'd pursue a little bit further. Goodbye then. Unless some of our early tercios rally up, it's looking quite bad. Yep, we just don't have the numbers to confront this many units without getting disruptions before contact, and of course our cavalry didn't have enough units to avoid getting outflanked. Run away then. Lock them in. You must join in, even though it's not a good matchup. Hopefully they rally during the melee. And that's all we can do. We'll probably break a few more of his units, but I think we've lost this. Yeah, these early tercios just kind of lose steam. They do well when they're at full strength and just slamming into the enemy, but when they're trying to maneuver under a hail of fire, they just kind of disrupt and collapse. Next turn. Yeah, he's gonna keep these tercios fleeing. Really need a rally. Yeah, I think we're doomed with this unit breaking. This unit's probably going to get auto-broken. And we really need these units to rally up. Next turn. Well, it looks like this won't quite be the end. but the end should be near. Don't think we can kill another 120 men before this unit gives way. On the bright side, we can at least do that. And we can cover this rear tile. Fortunate, run away. That is all we can do. Next turn. I believe it'll be the end. This unit's gonna fail soon. There we go. That's 60. $61 to be precise. So yeah, Huitin didn't believe me at the start when I said my money's on your army. The problem with these units is that when you do lose them, they take out such a big chunk of your army, and although they are individually powerful, you can't get much of a frontage going with them. And while the fact that they can't get flank attacked helps a little bit with that, it doesn't really help save your support troops. My cavalry was outnumbered because I overinvested in these large tercio units. Now, that isn't to say that my army list doomed me necessarily. In retrospect, had I had a better grasp on what the Protestant army could bring, I would have brought more of my own later tercio type units. But even so, I simply would not have had as many units, and I don't know that that makes the Catholic armies of this period objectively worse. I do know that they don't fit my preferred playstyle. Pike and shot, I very much prefer to get more shooting infantry overall than heavy hitters in melee. So, well done to Ahitan, and, well, however you say that, and till next time.